Thank you, brother. Thank you. Looking forward to what the Lord has tonight. I'm sorry I did not realize I got to run my mouth. I do like to talk and I got carried away. Here it is, already 7 minutes after 7. But anyway, well, it's been a good week so far. I'm sure you guys have heard. A lot of you have heard. We've had one get saved at the Rise to 2017. We've had one rededicate their life. We've had a lot of them come out of their comfort zone. We had one of the little boys last night, little Dusty. He got to shouting last night and just about took off, had a running spell, and got to shaking his hands in the air. And Zach broke down and started crying, and Dusty thought he done hurt his feelings. Zach said it just broke me to see that child worshiping like that. And he said, "Here I am crying." And he's over there going, "What I did wrong?" But they just they're having the time of their life. They really are. And I can't wait. Sunday is so far away, but yet I'm ready to hear the stories. And they're trying to stream it online on Facebook. If any of you's on Facebook, it's under CT Townsend Ministries. And they do it live. It usually goes to 10:30 or 11 every night. They start at 7:30. And last night it got on like Donkey Kong. It went crazy. There was preacher boys running up and down the aisle, and the preacher was jumping and shouting. It just was thick last night. And then he broke them all down and preached on respect. Being in the will of God, and said, listen, if you're going to be in the will of God, you got to respect your mom and dad. And said, and your mom and daddy's got to respect the spiritual authority, the pastoral authority of the church. And to tell you, you could have heard a rat pee on cotton in that place about that time. It was quiet. Buddy, brother, them kids started realizing how bad they had been to their mamas and daddies, how disrespectful they was. And he didn't even have to give an invitation, man. They just started flocking to the altar. And it's just a good spirit there. Zach called me at 12:15 this morning. I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was late. Well, it is, okay? But he's excited on cloud nine, him and Amanda. They just told me about, 10 minutes till 6, they had an hour drive from the tubing place to the motel. They had to eat, 25 of them shower, and get to the service by 7:30. So I said, y'all better stop on the way, grab some pizzas or something, and eat in the van, and so everybody could make it. He said, if we have to go dirty, preacher, we're going tonight. We're not going to miss the service. So this morning, in the AM service, CT started a service like this. He said, all right. He said, how many preacher boys have I got here this morning? There's close to 1,700 teenagers there. He said, I want all you preacher boys to stand up in here. Man, all these little boys, from 12, 13, all the way up to 20 years old, standing up everywhere. He said, all right, if you're a preacher boy and you ain't got your Bible, sit down. They all started looking at each other. Several of them had to sit down. So then he said, all right, everybody else that's got your Bible, if you're a preacher, we'll get up here on stage. So he lined them all up. He said, I've been to find out who's been studying and who ain't. If you've been called to preach, you better have been studying your Bible. And you should have seen their mouths hit the floor of that stage. And one little boy raised his hand and said, pick me. He said, I ain't doing this. We went on. This is going to be by God. This ain't going to be by choice. He said, I'll pick whoever the Lord lays on my heart. So they picked a little boy. He was around 14 years old the first one. He opened his Bible, and son, he tore that place apart for 3 minutes. Literally shredded. He preached from Genesis to Revelation, just like that. The little boy had been studying. Had just amazing. He picked 3 of them to preach, and one of them was a 12-year-old boy. He preached for about a minute and a half on John 3:16. His first time he'd ever preached, he had to preach in front of 1,700 people. He did an amazing job. God's just doing some big things up there this week, and so all of you's got kids up there. Man, I tell you, my heart's overflowing to see those girls. Many of the girls have come out of their shells. I know it's hard to spot them on that Facebook Live video in the choir. There's probably I'm guessing 400 people in that choir, teenagers. And you can see our girls. There's several of them got their hands in the air and waving, and they're worshiping the Lord. They have set aside for a week. They put the world on reserve and said, I'm going to worship God this week. And I'm going to tell you something. As a pastor of this church, I want to challenge you. It would be our foolishness to drown out their happiness when they come back. If we don't get a spark from them and we blow out their fire, it would be shameful on us. It really would. These kids are on fire, and I'm excited. I don't know, Jake, Mr. Personality, Jake, he's right in the middle of the choir. I'm like, Jake is in the choir. Whoever thought he would have sang in the choir? But he is. Boy, he's back there just singing and smiling. And so I'm proud of him. And I told Zach, I said, you tell Jake, I'm super proud of him. They tried to kill Miranda yesterday at Hollywood, put her on one of those big old tall free fall rides. And it drops and you can see her legs flip up in the air. They get to the ground and she's panting. And they're calling her babies. It's just been a good week. And I wish I was there. Me and my wife said next year we're going to make Zach and Amanda stay here. But anyway, looking forward to tonight. Keep praying for that meeting. I know several people back there that said, you better hurry up, get done with church tonight. I want to go home and watch the meeting. I was like, oh, good, Lord mercy. But I got to see a picture of Eddie today, floating down the river. And by the way, Olivia, you're not missing much there. Looked like two extended marshmallows sticking off of a tube there. But he was right there with them. And so I'm so proud of him. He had the opportunity last night to take those boys to the altar, and what a privilege and honor. And I know he's excited. The Lord's using him. But a few things I want to run by you. Any children's teacher interested in attending the Awana training on the 12th of August, the sign-up table is outside the youth room tonight, so Joy can register. There's classes for any children's teacher, how to lead a child to Christ, teaching the gospel in effective ways, teaching and memorization, so please make note of that. Anything else I need to... Work day on Saturday, 9 o'clock. We'll start here at 9 o'clock. If you can be here, please do. The more I have, the quicker we can get done, the quicker we can go home. It's going to be a lot of furniture moving. We're going to clean. It is my idea. I have not run this by anybody. It is my idea. It is my desire that we come together as a church and we clean this church this Saturday morning so Zach and Amanda don't have to do their weekly duties here at this church. This is their vacation, by the way. They did not take a family vacation this year. They used their vacation to carry those teenagers to Pigeon Forge to be in this conference. And I'm grateful for their sacrifice. I don't want them to have to come back and worry about cleaning this church. That'll be part of the things we do on Saturday. We'll give it a good cleaning Saturday morning. And so please be here for that, 9 o'clock Saturday morning. I know Brad's going to bring a pressure washer. I'll have one, so we'll have two. We'll have plenty of pressure washers going. We only got 2 spigots. But anyway, we'll have some people pressure washing and doing the things. We'll have a list of things here when you get here to do. And I thank you ahead of time for anybody that's wanting to do that. Don't forget about the drop-in shower for Brittany. That's 4:30 this Sunday. So please make note of that, 4:30 this Sunday. You having choir practice this Sunday? Oh, man. All right, no choir practice then, so just please be here for the shower. Let's get started. I've been talking long enough. All right, dear Heavenly Father, Lord God, I thank you for tonight, Lord. You know my heart, God. You know that my cup runneth over. Lord, I'm so grateful. I'm humble. I'm thankful. God, I don't even know what else to say to explain myself. You know my heart. Lord, to see those kids set aside anything that might be negatively affecting them, or Lord, things that would distract them. God, they've set the world aside and they took this week to be alone with you and God, to worship you and Lord, and just love on you and God, to grow closer. And I'm just so thrilled to death. Lord, I'm so thrilled to death for those kids. Thank you for those leaders. Lord, I thank you for Zach and Amanda. Lord, I thank you for their willingness to sacrifice everything for those kids. God, I thank you for the impact that they're making in those lives. Lord, help us here tonight. I pray, God, that we would just go to church. Lord, let us have a time of worship tonight and just love on you. Lord, draw us closer to you tonight, Lord. I ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Go ahead and stand as we sing tonight.
So Mr. Harper gonna sing?
I'd like to share something with you first. The Awana program. I've been in it for over 25 years. It needs young people, not kids, but young people, to go to work. I went to a meeting one time, and the song I'm going to sing kind of goes along with it. This lady got up, and she'd been in it for 30-some years. And I come in, and I sit down, and I'm going to get you Rob, so don't get scared. And I may get you Donnie. But anyway, she starts talking, and I sit down about where Rob's at, and she said, if the program is not growing, it's your fault. So I went the next year. I told a friend, we gotta go listen to this lady. But I'm not gonna sit up front. She got up and she said, if that program isn't growing, it's your fault. She stuck her finger in my face again. And that tore me up. That broke my heart. And at one time, we had 125 kids. At one time. They're our future. You younger adults have to build that future. Mr. Harper asked me to sing a song. And it kind of goes with what I was talking about. So I'm going to try to do it. Sorry, Adam, I got the wrong song. Yeah, I had the They asked old Lazarus, can you explain how a man can be dead, then live again? That's just insane. Lazarus said, boys, I heard a voice spoke life to me, death set me free when he called me by name. He called my name, I heard his voice. He called my name, and I made my choice. I knew my life would never be the same after he called. He called my name.
of us, well, I ain't gonna say many of us, I'm gonna say every one of us struggle with. And at the end of service, if you don't struggle with it, come see me, because I want to meet the one and only that don't struggle with it. James will absolutely, the book of James will rip you to pieces if you study it. It's a very good, simple, short book, and I enjoy studying it quite often. But tonight I want to look at chapter number 5, and I want to discuss a very impacting, I'd say, topic of patience. Something we all struggle with, patience.
Amen.
And I'm preaching to myself just as hard as I can preach to anybody tonight. I have a problem with patience, many more times so than no. And I want to look deeper into the Word of God tonight and see if I can help you tonight just a little while. The Bible says in James chapter number 5, verse number 7, "Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and hath long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. Grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. Take my brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by earth, neither by any other oath. But let your yea be yea, and your nay be nay, lest ye fall into condemnation." Let's pray. Father God in heaven, I need your help tonight. Lord, I don't want to try to do it on my own. I'll fail on my own, God. I need your touch from above. Help me tonight, Lord, I pray. Empower me, God. Give me wisdom. Lord, may I speak the words that only you would have spoken. Lord, give me discernment. Lord, I pray for liberty. Lord, I just pray that these words which we've read from your text, God, you'd apply them to our hearts, Lord. May we grow closer to thee. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen and amen. If you get to studying the book of James very often, you'll find right off the bat in James chapter number 1 and verse number 3, verse number 4, he hits knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. How many of us tonight came to church? Now, I'm not talking about spiritual needs, which is a great thing, or spiritual wants. That's wonderful. We always need to have them. But our problem is we're impatient. I preached a message not long ago talking about we live in a generation of now. We want it now. I mean, everything's drive-through. Phil Kidd said the other day, you'll notice that the drive-through lines are longer than the lines inside. And he says if you'll look at the people in the drive-through, they're bigger than the people inside. But you know how he is. But I want to say tonight that we became a generation that has got a lack of patience. It goes from our house to our work, to the church house, to wherever we go. We want it right now. We find people birthing these churches all over the land. They want churches that are huge right now. We find kids that they want everything that their parents has worked for right now. People don't want to labor, and people don't want to stick with nothing. People want everything right now. But I want you to know that this very patience that James is talking about is not talking about reactions to things that we see and losing our temper, so to speak. But he's talking about patience with other people, patience with other believers, patience within the body of Christ. Now, I'm telling you, some of us could use more patience dealing with certain moments in our life, but we must keep in mind that we are living examples of Jesus Christ, and if we fail to be patient, if we fail to blow up, if we fail to represent Him, we have not done what He's called us to do. Now, patience is something that we all struggle with. We all, I
can't have biscuits right now, you know that. And I'm one of those impatient people. But I want you to know that James really gives us some great advice in being patient. So I want to show you tonight, verse number 7 through verse number 9, we see the perspective about patience. James speaks the thought that each of us should possess regarding patience. I want you to notice the very first thing in verse number 7, he gives some advice. Grudge, he says grudge. Oh, I done jumped the wrong page. Listen, I done got on the wrong page here. Talking about patience, he says, be patient therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husband waited for the precious fruit of the earth, hath long patience for until he receive the latter rain. If you back up to verse number 10 in chapter number 11, speak not evil of one another. Brethren, he that speaketh evil his brother judgeth his brother speaketh either the law. Can I say something tonight? We are in a time where we don't want to be patient with immature believers. We don't want to be patient with other believers. And last night as I was watching that broadcast and I've been reading this book and studying the book of James, I found out that many times we're throwing stones at our own family. We won't even be patient with the body of Christ. And we get upset with one another. And we get short-fused with one another. When James says we ought to be patient, he gives the illustration there in verse number 7 about the husband waits for that crop. He said the sower sows the seed and he waits for the Lord to water it early and late. He waits for the crops to come in. But what we have to realize is when people come, they may not always look like we do. They may not always dress like we do. They may not always act like we do. But can I say, James says we got to be patient with those. Now, why have we got ourselves caught in a time where we want to find fault? We don't want to be patient with each other. We want to be, listen, we want people to be what we want them to be right away. Our lack of patience can often cause bitterness with each other. We often, the Bible says in verse number 9, grudge not one against another, brethren, lest you be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. I'm telling you, we stand in a day where I promise you, we ain't got time to hold a grudge. What we need to do is hold the light of the world, the book of the Bible, the love of God. We need to hold that instead of grudge towards one another. James says, grudge not one another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. The judge standeth before the door. I'm telling you, verse number 8, he says, be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. James didn't say it. It's not a matter of how long. He said it's drawing close. It could happen any minute. And I want to say, I'm as guilty as anybody of wanting things right now when I say that God has put us in a race. This is not an overnight thing. We've got to be patient with the brethren. We've got to love the brethren. We don't have time to grudge the brethren. And I'm telling you, the Bible says we ought to usher in a spirit that is welcome into the Lord, because the Bible says that the truth sets us free if we're truly, I said truly forgiven and truly saved. We are free indeed. We ought not walk in harboring feelings. We ought not walk in grudging one another. We ought to walk in loving one another as the family of Christ. We ought to be patient with one another. We need to bear one another the burdens, but be not grudgeful towards each other. He gives the advice there in verse number 7. We ought to avoid such bitterness in our life. I'm telling you, bitterness will turn into anger. Anger will turn into snap. There's no part of patience has anything. You cannot be angry and have patience. You can't do it. You can't do it. God will judge that very activity in my life. God will judge that very activity in your life. I want to tell you something today. James gives us some advice there. We ought not grudge one another. We've got to work on this patience, brother. Look at verse number 7. He says, behold, the husband waited for the precious fruit of the earth and had long patience for it. I'm telling you something. You don't plant a seed today and expect the harvest to grow tomorrow. Good neighbor, I'm telling you, keep witnessing to that one that you don't care about. Keep loving on those ones that you don't really, they're not your favorite. Because one day, God's going to get a hold to them. He's going to turn them around and use them for His glory. But if we think that anticipate what we ought not be thinking it comes overnight. Success don't happen like that. Listen, our patience is the same way. Can I tell you something? We ought to remember now. Remember, if you don't hear nothing else I say tonight, we are ambassadors for Christ. We are ambassadors of the King. If we're not representing Him in all we do, in the way that He's called us to do, can I tell you something? We'll never reap the harvest. We'll never see the bearing of the fruit. But if we'll be patient and not get weary in well-doing, and love one another, and not grudge not one another, I'm telling you, good neighbor, God will do great and mighty things with each one of us. Amen. Now He says, we've got to be patient. We've got to work with it. Our patience and long-suffering can very well make a difference in someone's salvation. I thought about it the other day, and I'm on the confession section. That rhymes, I don't even like it. But Grant, I'm asking for God to give me a special touch of patience right now for my daughter. I'm struggling with it, brother. Man, I could take Connor and wear him out, and he won't think nothing about it. I can't even look at Lexi before she starts crying. My world's just known. I guess she knows it, but I blow up sometimes at her. Blow up. This morning, I did, and I had to preach this tonight, and I had to ask God all day to forgive me. I had to ask for forgiveness with another man in the truck today because God got convicted me, and I got some man riding with me. He ain't never met me but 3 times. He riding with me up 85, and I'm saying, oh man, listen, I'm just asking God to forgive me for what I did this morning. He said, where'd that come from? I said, I'm sorry, man. I'm having a little time right now. And he's a good guy. He's a salesman for a company that I represent. Anyway, I just got blown up this morning. I didn't cuss or nothing like that. But I got thinking about Don's patience that James is talking about. If we don't have those patience, Scott, what happens is when we lose it, you know what goes out the window with our anger? Our testimony. It's so sad. You know what? I can have a testimony so strong that could lay across the Grand Canyon. You could walk on it and be so strong. But if my daughter don't see that same testimony in me, I'm a loser. I'm a failure. You know, we always want people to think we're so strong and we're so good and we're high and mighty. No, we're all flesh and blood. And James says, James, we talked about it the other day, he says that no man can control the tongue. I understand that. I agree with that. I know that the tongue is such an evil muscle or figure, whatever you want to call that thing. You can't tame it. It's full of poison. But man, we've got to be patient because it ultimately can affect somebody's salvation because of one losing your temper. With anger goes your testimony. And it flies out just like anger comes out of us. Listen, we will definitely be better witnesses for Christ when we can exercise patience. I'll never forget as long as I live some of the people that's impacted my life the most. And I know many of you know Joe Davis. That man I remember things going south with us when he would travel with him. We'd go down there and preach in the prisons. And I mean, things would happen that we couldn't help. And we'd all be going, I'm fit to go over there and show that one boy. He's like, y'all, let's just pray about it. I'm like, how can you be patient? We drove 3 hours. I've studied all week to preach for 10 minutes to these people, and I can't even get in there to preach. You're telling me to pray about it? I want to tell that woman what I think about her. He said, let's pray about it. I'm like, where does that patience come from? Man, one example, he said. Patience. James says we have to have patience. Listen to me, not only we see the advice and anticipation, look at verse number 8. Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. Can I say something tonight? We also need to be in preparation. The Lord's coming back. Even if we face difficulty, it's no time nor place to give up on this journey we're on. Don't throw in the towel because you can't control the tongue. Listen, exercise the patience James talks about. We are to represent Christ in all that we do. All that we do, just not while we're at church or just not while we're at home, but while we're at work everywhere we go. We are to represent Christ well. We are to prepare. James says, listen, he says, be ye also patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. I'm telling you, I'm going to say it just like every other preacher said before. I can't tell you when he's coming, but I'm telling you he's coming. And I'm telling you that sky can open up right very now, and that trumpet can sound. We could be out of here, before the blink of an eye. I'm telling you, we don't have time. Now that goes against what I'm preaching. I'm talking about patience. Now I'm saying we don't have time. We don't have time to be not patient. We've got to be steady and represent the Lord in all we do, because the Lord is coming. Not only the preparation, but last night as I come up here and I met with a young man who don't even go to church here. He goes to church nowhere. Him and his fiancee, they have a child out of wedlock, and they're still together, and they've hit some hard times. And he asked me would I come talk with him, text me. I said, yeah, let's go do it, man. I had some little bit of time last night. Come up here and spend a couple hours with him. And we prayed and counseled with him for a while. And I said, brother, let me tell you something. There's a lot that can be done. You can damage everything with words like that. You can destroy, you can burn Rome in a day, but you can't build it back. It takes patience. And let me say tonight that we have to be patient. We have to prepare our hearts for everything that we face. Now, Laura, I'm not going to bring up the speeding ticket. I think that was a great demonstration of patience with that police officer, even though, when you tell them, officer, I appreciate what you do, and they throw that thing in your face anyway. It's just not right. But we talk about preparation, be ye also patient, establish your hearts. But I want you to know the sanctification, grudge not one another, against one another, brethren, lest you be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. Can I say something? It is easy to blame others for our lack of faith or defeat. It's so easy to turn and say, it was his fault. He's the reason I lost my cool. It's easy for me to go to work frustrated and blame the reason my day started off bad was because my daughter wouldn't eat breakfast and had that stinking iPod shoved in her face. It's that reason I'm having a bad day. No, it ain't. I need to learn patience with people around me. James says we need to be patient with one another, grudge not against one another. Listen, be slow to anger. Might I say something? We have got to be sanctified. Quit being grudgmental towards each other. We need to love one another. Quit being bitter. We need to quit having judgmental attitudes. God will judge everything that we do. We need to practice patience. Now, we see the perspective. Look at the pursuit. Look at verse number 10. The Bible says there, take my brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Can I tell you something? There ain't no doubt. I can tell you right now, they were human. I believe every word in the Bible. I've told you that every time I preach. I'll say it again. I believe every word in the Bible. I believe in everybody in the Bible. I believe they were real people. This is not made up stuff. Those Old Testament prophets who suffered all that torture, condemnation, and all the things that they went through. Surely they wanted to give up. Listen, surely they wanted to quit, but they did not. What about Job? Everybody knows Job's story. Think about what he went through. But he stayed faithful. And by the way, God stayed faithful to him all the way through it. I'm telling you, patience is everything. We have got to be the example and display that patience. Now, James reminds us there of the prophets of old. In prison, beaten, threatened to death. I know they felt like giving up. I know they felt like lashing out. I did it yesterday. Man, I did it yesterday. Walked into a store. I'm my little confession session, I'm just telling you. Walked into the store, Grant, I walked in there and I told them what I want. I went in the camper. I'm not calling the name, camping store. Anyway, I walked in there, I stood there for like 15 minutes, and I'm not a little guy, so it's not like they can't see me. I mean, if I turn sideways, you still don't see me. I'm sitting there tapping my feet, got whistling, I mean, don't you sit there and look at her computer, I don't know what she was doing. Then she goes, oh, I'm sorry, sir, can I help you? And I said, yes, ma'am, and I tell her all the information she needs to know. And she says, okay, let me look. Now, I don't see that. Now tell me again. So I tell her all the information again. And then she says, I said, I need this page, blah, blah. She goes, oh, wait, that's got to come from the factory. She said, let me go get the lady that does that. Okay? Tapping in my, the rhythm's getting faster. I'm kind of like Miss Bonnie gets on the piano after we've been playing a while. She gets faster and faster. My foot's clapping. She comes back, she says, I'm so sorry. She says, that lady has stepped out of the office. She'll be back in 2 hours, sir. Would you like to wait on her? And I said, ma'am, this place is a joke. And I turned and walked out, and God had beat me up for that so many times. I didn't blow up and cuss her out, but my patience was gone. And this, is it not funny how, is anybody here dealing with patience problems? Is anybody have patience problems? Let me tell you something. I'm studying this passage this week, and I blew up at this woman yesterday. Don't tell me God ain't got a sense of humor. I'm sitting there, I'm trying to whistle Amazing Grace, but I want to knock her out. And I left there, I called my wife, I said, I'm done with this place. I said, I don't even like these people. I will make this part before I buy it from them. By the way, I did today with Crazy Billy. I am all, I'm telling you words. My dog won't get in the road with that. We have got to display patience. Can I say something? We face opposition. We're going to face discouragement. But there ain't nobody in here faced what those Old Testament prophets said. They stayed patient. They fought the fight. They ran the race. Think about those wandering in the wilderness all those years. Coming out of bondage, wandering in the wilderness. They wanted to give up, but they had a leader that wouldn't. Who are you leading when you're ready to give up? When your patience is done, you're wore out, you're tired, you don't want to be patient no more. You don't want to give grace where it's not there. You're ready to give up. You're ready to go back to Egypt and eat out of the flesh pots. Because you're tired. You're worn out. You want to blow up. You're tired, but you've got a whole pack of people behind you that's looking at you and watching you. And you need to be that example of patience. You need to be that representation of Jesus Christ. And I promise you, neighbor, you will not find outside of Jesus turning the tables in the temple when the money changers came in. And he said, y'all have made this is a house of prayer. Y'all have made it a den of thieves. And he turned the tables over in the temple. Outside of that, you don't see Jesus get upset with nobody to the point that he loses his cool. He's up, listen, I've read it. I've read the 4 Gospels. They all, listen, neither one of them contradict themselves. I believe every one of them. If he's truly your example, then why? We've got to follow. We've got to be that representation of who he is. Also, I want you to know that the Bible says in verse number 11, behold, we count them happy which endure. Is there anybody in here tonight that would say, preacher, I bit off more than I could chew, but I stuck with it. I didn't quit, and I finished what I started. Anybody ever done that? You ever bit off more than you could chew? You wanted to quit, but you stuck with it, and when you finished, what was your life? It was pure satisfaction. The Bible says in verse number 11, behold, we count them happy, which endure. I promise you, tonight, I want you to think about it. When things get really hard and you want to blow up, and you're going to blow up from time to time, listen, patience is something we all work on. Every day we have to work. It's a work in progress. But when you find yourself wanting to truthfully throw your wife out of the boat for breaking your seat, but you swallow your pride and you say, it's okay, we'll fix it later. I was so proud of myself that day. Not doing well, but I was proud. Couldn't eat because my tongue was swollen. But you know, I'm just being funny about that. I was upset. But you know, when you finally do realize how patient you are with somebody, when you wanted to blow up, and you leave and you're like, I sure feel good that I was that example God's talking about. I was that person God's talking about. I showed that patience that James is talking about. Behold, we count them happy which endure. You know what? We can read there. You can go back to study those Old Testament prophets. You can look at Job. Look at what all he had when it was finished. Surely lost everything, but he got way more in return. Can I tell you something? Do not lose your cool. Do not lose your patience. Hang on to what God's given you, because in the end, it's going to be worth every bit. Every bit. Not only the perspective, see the pursuit of patience. So I want you to notice in verse 12, and I'm done. But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by earth, neither by any other oath, but let your yea be yea, and your nay, nay, lest ye fall into condemnation. Notice the emphasis he has on the priority of patience. He says, but above all things, my brethren, swear not. When our patience is tried, we are tempted to lash out in anger. That is our reaction to when our patience is tried. It's kind of like when you light a fuse on a firecracker, it's going to blow up. When you test somebody's patience, they're going to blow up. That's how we respond. That's how we react. When our patience gets thin and we lose them. But he says, above all things, my brothers, swear not. Listen, if we aren't careful, we might even swear or speak profanely. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hands tonight, but have you ever lost your cool and said, I'm talking about like the Christmas story. Some of you's going, like the mama did. I'm not going to do it. But I'm being honest. Don't keep in about 30 seconds late right there. It's okay. my sense of humor is blank. Okay? But we've all done it. Man, I've done it. I've done it. I done it. Said it. Sorry. But I tell you something. The Bible says, behold, but above all things, my brethren, swear not. Swear not. But above all things, no doubt, in a moment of hurt, we've all hurt. A moment of anger, we've all had anger. We've all said things we wish we hadn't. But once words are spoken, we can't take them back. Can't take them back. There's no rewind. I promise you, as we endure difficulties, our patience is going to be tried. But let me say something. You put on the armor of God. Listen, guard your hearts so that you can hold your tongue. How am I going to? You're never going to tame that tongue. But I promise you, if you'll guard this heart, it will ultimately control the tongue. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. If you'll control this heart, I promise you, the things that come out of this mouth won't be near as vile. Won't be near as vile. But I promise you, it's like preparing for a marathon. You exercise daily. Every day you get a little better. And a little better. You can run a little further. Every day you keep working on impatience. You keep working on being patient. And I promise you, every day you're a little more patient. You'll find yourself, I'm not blowing up as easy. I'm getting a little better. Boy, used to, I blowed up big time. Boy, used to, no, listen. Every time we do, listen, we get closer and closer to the goal, the mark of the high calling, the Bible says. We have got to continue to work. It's priority. He says, but above all things, above everything. But above all things, my brothers, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by earth, neither by any other oath. Let your yea be yea, your nay, nay, unless you fall into condemnation. We must bear in mind that James is speaking to the brethren. Much of the opposition they faced came from the Pharisees and the Jewish legalists, if you study this out. They were very religious, but extremely overbearing. The Pharisees would never intentionally take the Lord's name in vain. But it was a practice, and it was a common practice in that day. I was reading where they might not take the Lord's name in vain, but they would swear to another creature. When you, some people might say, I swear to God, just speak. I swear to, listen, if you swear to anything, the Bible says don't do it. Because whatever you swear to, it may not be directly taking the Lord's name in vain, but in anger, it's something that God has created, which belongs to the Lord. It's His creation. The Bible says, swear not. But above all things, brethren, swear not. Neither by heaven, neither by earth, neither by any other oath. Listen to me. If we swear by anything upon this earth, we have sworn by God's creation. We have to be careful. Some of the harshest things come out of our mouth because of a lack of patience. I have counseled in the past 10 years, maybe longer than that. So many couples I've looked across that desk of mine as they were both had already went and got their own lawyer. Couples that had been married 15, 20 years, divorcing because of not a physical abuse, but simply saying something out of anger that not be anger. Lack of patience. When our patience is tried, anger is expressed. And I promise you, you don't get nowhere. When anger comes out, so does that testimony. Right? We have got to learn to practice patience. The Bible says, grudge not. I want to tell you something tonight. I'm not going to do an invitation tonight. I want you to think on that thought tonight. Where am I at in representing the Lord in all I do? You know, we do pretty good. I mean, I think we do real good. Nothing comes to mind when I think about church and the people, and God's blessing this place. But I often wonder what happens when we leave this place. And I wonder how we represent ourselves in front of other people. You and I had that discussion today with patience. You know, we are ambassadors. We are to represent God in all that we do. And patience is not shown. We have misrepresented God in heaven. Well, where do you stand? Where's your patience? I feel like we all have something right now in our mind that God has put on our mind. My patience is short. Patience is short there. I'm going to work on it. Remember what I said. Patience. Working on patience takes patience because you don't sow a seed tonight and reap the harvest in the morning. It takes the early rain. The Bible says go after. Sometimes it takes a while for us to heal. What we desire. That's patience. Let's pray. Father God in heaven, I thank you, Lord, for your precious word. Lord, may you be with us and help us all in our patience, God. May we not be weary in well doing. God, may we be found faithful in all that we do. May we be great representation of the great God we serve. Lord, may all that we do honor and glorify them. Show us, God, those areas of our life that we need to change. Jesus precious name. Amen. Don, if I can get you, and Jim, if I can get you to come up here, we'll take up an offering. I need to do an offering. I'm so guilty of that on this night. Y'all, please continue to pray for those teenagers. What a blessing those stories has been. And y'all just take it. Everybody's looking at glasses. Did you not just pray over the offering? I'm sorry. I'll tell you this story. I'm not going to tell all the stories they told me. But God's been good to them kids. Let me tell you how. Y'all remember when we prayed for traveling mercy? You know, they left here a little after 10 o'clock. Friday, Monday. They crossed the top of the mountain there at the Newfound Gap. They all got out to take a picture. They got back in the van. 15 people in a 15-passenger van.
going down the mountain to Gatlinburg, brakes went out. No joke. Brakes went out. To the floor, no brakes. But God was good. God spared them, brought them into Gatlinburg, laughing. They were all they think it's hilarious. You know, kids don't have no fear. They thought it's hilarious. They got it fixed, took it yesterday to the shop, left it there while they were dollar, we got it fixed. What would have happened if we would have prayed for traveling mercy?
Right.
I know we prayed Wednesday night, we prayed Sunday night, and I know we're going to pray again for these teenagers. Yes, we're going to pray again for them. That's the reason we did it Wednesday night and Sunday night. We're going to do it when we leave here and go home to our houses tonight. We're going to pray. Everyone. But God's been good to me. I said, Zach, quit playing games. No, preacher, you don't understand. I ain't got no brakes. I said, Zach, now ain't the time to mess with me, man. No, he said, preacher, I'm telling you. I said, oh no, he ain't playing. So, but anyway, God was good to him. God had his hands of protection on him, and I'm thankful for that. So, all right, let's stand tonight. Anybody got anything on hearts and minds before we close? Anybody need something? Yes, sir.
Just keep the details for in the morning, we'll write part of it.
Okay.
And maybe we'll get more details of what's going on after the morning.
Absolutely. Y'all please be in prayer for Miss Margaret's mother. Find out what's going on there. Anybody else before we close? Yes, sir.
First, I got a question. Has anybody in here been watching the live feeds? Isn't it amazing? I mean, it's had me, Jack, it's had mine, where I couldn't even sleep. Well, I don't mean to steal any thunder here. I'm going to let him have his thunder when he gets back to. I may or may not get through this. But last night, for some reason, I couldn't sleep. 5 minutes after 12 last night, my phone goes off with a text message. It was from Caleb. And Caleb, all my children have been saved. All of them been baptized. We all stray from time to time. Caleb's been struggling with some things. Well, he sent me a text message last night at 5 minutes after 12. It said that your husband walked with him down to the altar last night and rededicated his life to God. Amen. And he said he was just a mess. And he said he was walking, felt like he was flying above the clouds, walking on the clouds. And I've been that way all day today. Like I said, I don't want to take his thunder, but I just can't control my excitement about it. And I can't wait for him to get here so I can just squeeze him in hand. But thank you.
Zach called me at 12:15. Don called me at 7 this morning. And Don was excited. He said, the only thing I can get through it, preacher, I said, well, forward me the text that your son sent you. And at the last part of that text, he said, Daddy, when I get back, I hope you notice the difference. That's real. That's real. That's what we pray for, church. It'd be a shame for us to smother out their fire. Man, fire. All right, anybody else before we go? I appreciate these three right here. I'm not putting them on the spot. Those three young ones right there on Wednesday night come to church. Amen. Even though they knew none of the youth were here, they came to church on Wednesday night. I appreciate it. I told them to encourage the preacher's heart. Have those young ones here on Wednesday night. Knowing that the youth wasn't going to be here. I look forward to having y'all back. Y'all come back. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say that I'm so proud of those kids because, the dress code was it was a little bit, questionable for some of our kids. They were worried about it, wondering about it. When they posted that picture of all of them ready for their first evening service, I was so proud of them. I don't think they complained. I don't think they fussed about it. They dressed appropriately for services. They dressed appropriately for holiday. And I think y'all, we really, really proud of them. Because that was hard for a carpenter.
It's not popular, but okay. Our kids did so good. Zach called me. He said, preacher, you lied. I said, what are you talking about? He said, you told me that these girls had to wear dresses to their knees, modesty. I said, buddy, it's telling you ain't saying it's gonna happen. Monday night, you know what happened before Kenny Bone got, when they put the youth choir there? CT said, I don't want him, he was on Mike. He said, I ain't embarrassing none of you on purpose, but you knew what you're supposed to wear. You're not gonna stand up here showing your body. Get to the back. Move right now. And he moved. Our girls were on the front row of the choir, amen? So, Zach called me back and he said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. But he said, I'm not being over the girls, but y'all, everybody had rules and regulations. They knew the dress code. I can't tell you how to dress in your house, which I can tell you how to dress in God's house. And he said, he started picking them up and going, go to the back, go to the back. He said, this is live stream video tonight. I will not allow these girls to be showing themselves on live stream video representing the church or the meeting. So, but anyway, our kids are amazing. Man, they haven't had no problems. I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna quit. But anyway, y'all, thank you for those, all of you that's contributed and prayed for them. They are our tomorrow.